Hello everyone, this is Armstrong Williams on the right side. Armstrong. Don't curse, speak English. Armstrong. Virtuous society.
Hello, I'm Armstrong Williams. And there's such debate about who rules the Tea Party and what is the Tea Party. And I want to take time today to try to explain it. Let's just go back in a historical way. Is it Sarah Palin and her lunch pail brand of God, guns, and the Constitution? Is it Dick Armey, the former House Majority Leader who danced to his own tune and was the mastermind behind the GOP's contract with America that put Newt Gingrich as the Speaker of the House, which was historical at the time? Or is the Tea Party led by a few private mega funders, a George Soros clan of the conservative movement? One thing is certain, liberals and even Republicans sometimes have no idea who their opponents are. And they and the mainstream media are really desperate to find out, especially after the decimation of the Democratic Party and the recent midterm elections where the Republicans gained 60 seats in the House, closed the gap in the Senate, and now control 38 of the gubernatorial seats in this country, which means reapportionment is a blessing for them as we approach 2012. Several months ago, when the Tea Party crusade hit its stride with the Kentucky primary win by Rand Paul to succeed retiring Senator Jim Bundy, the left went out of its way to link Paul as the puppet behind a larger Republican machine. Democratic operatives quickly labeled Paul and his style of politics as wholly indicative of what the GOP had become. As predicted, Republicans have reverted to their old school style of hate politics, the storyline went, making the recent election a clear choice between policies of the past versus the future. The political cheap shot was an easy one for the likes of DNC Chairman Tim Kaine. The narrative they could build around Paul and other Tea Party activists fit nicely into the party's attacks and gave them something to shoot at after being pummeled for months by a sluggish economy and missteps of their own. To Democrats and the media, the GOP had let the wing nuts take over. Yes, the wing nuts were in the House. And so long as they were winning, Republican leaders like Mitch McConnell and John Boehner were all too eager to just sit back and watch. But oh boy, remember then Christine O'Donnell happened. From out of nowhere, this recycled candidate jumped up and snatched victory from the jaws of establishment Republican Mike Castle in Delaware. What a conundrum that created. Now all of a sudden, Republicans had taken a big step away from winning control of the Senate, which clearly played out in the recent midterm elections. Clearly, this wasn't in the party's plan, but up until that point, everyone was saying the GOP was in control of the Tea Party. Without missing a beat or even noting their own double-mindedness, pundits and columnists took to warning the country that Republicans had no control of the Tea Party, and such irresponsible behavior threatened to wreak havoc on our way of life, whatever that meant. As Washington Post columnist Eugene Robinson wrote back in September, the Republicans thought they had the rampaging Tea Party under control. Apparently, the Tea Party begs to differ. So which is it? Does the Republican Party control the Tea Party, or doesn't it? Is the Tea Party stationed off First Street in the Republican National Committee headquarters or not? The truth is, America, the Tea Party is led by no one. Not Sarah Palin, not Dick Armey, no one. It stands singularly united against the forces of government knows best. Unfortunately for the Democrats, the poster child of such doctrine is President Obama himself. After all, he did admit recently that he took a shellacking in the November 2nd midterm elections. No matter of ducking or dodging will dissuade the Tea Party crusaders. So what opponents do instead is demonize this group because of his views. This from a man who pledged to be president for all Americans. For now, the simple fact the Tea Party is against something is enough to galvanize its followers and keep them focused on the prize. The end of the ruling party. That is their prize, ladies and gentlemen. The end of the ruling party. It forces each candidate to listen to the local concerns of their constituencies, not some head that arbitrarily decides an official platform. The platform is simple. Stop wasting our tax dollars before we go the way of Greece and become bankrupt. Reduce the deficit. Financial discipline. Stop this dependency on oil. So-called experts claim the Tea Party only affects Republicans, but that's an incomplete assertion. Throughout the country, we are seeing, especially in this recent election, did you see how Democrats just ran away from then Speaker Nancy Pelosi and their party to tout their independence and fiscal responsibility? When was the last time, America, you saw so many politicians are running away from their greatest achievement? Healthcare. Did you hear them touting healthcare? I don't think so. If the Tea Party and its message are so trite, why are officials on both sides privately telling us that this is the best thing to happen to the parties in a long time? Because it's forcing candidates to finally start listening to the American people. And that's a good thing. One thing that hasn't been discussed in Washington circles is what the Tea Party needs. Like it or not, once these candidates become sworn-in members of the House or Senate, they will need to form a coalition government of sorts. Left to itself, there will be little legislatively it can do. Yet plugged into the political apparatus of the Republican Party, it can begin to shape and turn initiatives, something every Tea Party disciple longs to see. Can this movement last? Will it be around and in similar form come 2012? I believe so. There's too much frustration and not enough relief in sight. This movement possesses one characteristic that Democrats and Republicans are sorely lacking in this cycle, and that is enthusiasm. So my question at the beginning, who leads the Tea Party? It doesn't matter. The political tour de force is felt by everyone, yet controlled by no one. Let the establishment beware. I'm Armstrong Williams.